Hello my friends, Simon from What Culture here, still in Las Vegas. If you saw the first video we did, and look, Statue of Liberty. That's right, makes no sense. It's meant to be in New York, but it's here. There's a terrifying roller coaster on top of a building there, which I will never go on. But I think the rest of the guys are actually considering, because I think they're insane. So, as we are stood in Las Vegas, ready for Double or Nothing week, obviously, Night of Champions is happening in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. I think over here it's happening at like 10 a.m. So we're going to get up, we're going to go to a sports bar. But before then, we need to do what we always do. How you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. This is why I love doing these shows. People just walk by and say your name. My parents don't even do that. They're like, out of here, scumbag. But yeah, of course, we have to predict the show and try and figure out what's going now. Now, I actually think on paper, the Saudi Arabia thing to one side, we talked about it before, it's a good card. And the one benefit of the shows that WWE have done out there the last couple of years is, you know, they used to feel like glorified house shows, dare I say it. Now I don't think they feel that way. Now I actually think they have feuds and matches on there that I actually care about, especially the Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes thing that we will talk about. But I've got a list here, so we'll go in the order of the list that is presented to me, and we start with Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a grudge match, I suppose. Now, anytime I go on the internet, people telling me they don't like this feud, they don't think it's a good program. I disagree entirely. I think Becky Lynch has found her way as a babyface again after all the heel stuff. I think Trish Stratus has been a wonderful bad guy, and I massively enjoyed the promo she cut on Raw with the contract signing. And given that SummerSlam is just around the corner, I know it's in May, but it's only like 3 months away, I would try and hold this off for a round 2. Absolutely do it then. You don't want a one and done with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. If you want to come in here right now and say, Simon, I think this is somewhat of a dream match, I would agree with you, because when Trish Stratus retired in, what, 2005, 2006? I know she's come back a couple of times, but we haven't seen her as a bad guy for ages. Feuding with Becky Lynch, who absolutely is still one of the biggest stars that WWE has. I'm pumped for all of it. I think they've done great work. I enjoyed the heel turn we did on Raw 2 months ago, or wherever it was. Maybe we should have done it at WrestleMania, but we didn't. Don't cry over spilt milk. I think Trish Stratus has got to win. You can do shenanigans, you can do nonsense, you can do some kind of cheating, that is the whole point. But Trish Stratus wins, and you move on to SummerSlam, you do the match again. Again, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus round 2 in somewhat of a stipulation match. You know what, I'm just going to throw it out there right now. We never do cage matches or things like that when it comes to the women, which makes no sense. Let's do Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a steel cage at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch wins, then we can all go home, and we can all play Nintendo, especially because the new Zelda's out, and that's what we really want to do. We'll do the other women's match just because for some reason that's the next one on my list. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship, even though Rhea's on Raw. Hurts my brain. I felt my knee go then. I almost buckled because my brain wasn't able to handle it. Now, look, I like Natalya. I think Natalya is wonderful. She's experienced. I can only imagine the knowledge and the wisdom she is able to pass down to the rest of that locker room. She's got to be squashed here. She does. And I got into a bit of a tete-a-tete with somebody on the internet about this, because there was another match on here. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it's Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, which we'll also talk about. But I said I wanted Mustafa Ali to get like a 10-minute match out of it, get some near falls, ultimately he loses. And they were like, well, why don't you squash Mustafa Ali? Why do we have to squash Natalya? I'll tell you why. Because Gunther has already squashed people, right? We've already established Gunther as this wrecking machine and really as a main event player. Now we got to do the same thing for Rhea Ripley. If Rhea Ripley runs through someone like Natalya, who has all this experience, again, it's like the mother of the women's locker room, it means something. And as long as we can carry that on after the fact, and he talks about it in promos, it's been the biggest problem with the Austin Theory John Cena thing. I don't think Austin Theory has talked about defeating John Cena enough. So if you can do it here, you can turn Rhea Ripley into an even bigger star than she already is. So that's what I want to see. I'm talking 45 seconds to a minute stuff here, which I know is crazy, but the goal in 2023 is to make Rhea Ripley into the biggest thing ever. That's the way I think we should do it. And as I've told you, on 1,000 ups and downs, give her the Intercontinental title. That's right, she can beat Gunther. Give her the US title. That's right, she can beat Theory. Give her Roman Reigns' belt. I don't care. Rhea Ripley should win all the championships, and also obviously her and Dominic are the greatest partnership ever. And you could do that, I suppose, if you want. I imagine Dominic will be in her corner. If you want him to cheat, you probably could. I don't think you need to do it. We talked about Gunther and Mustafa Ali for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, these two matches kind of tie in. There is no reality that we live in where Rhea Ripley is going to lose, and there's no reality we live in where Gunther is going to lose. It's just not going to happen. But I would like Mustafa Ali just to get a little something. That thing we did on Raw was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, where he cut that quite serious and quite downtrodden, but, you know, I'm going to fight promo. And then Brock Lesnar just walked past and was like, get a life, kid. Where the hell did that come from? So you want to do something. Do you remember the Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan match from a few? Not too much like that, but Brock Lesnar was whipping his ass. All of a sudden, Daniel sort of lit up. Daniel Bryan lit up on him, and it made you believe, do that, but obviously minus a little bit, because I don't think WWE would ever take it that far. But obviously Gunther is going to win this. But I think they can have a really good match. Like Mustafa Ali does play the fighting baby face very well, which could be why we moved away from the positivity thing on Raw to try and tie into that a bit more, and Gunther is just the man. I mean, there's rumors going around right now that the main event for Raw at WrestleMania 40 could be Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Absolutely. White meat baby face, super heel. They both understand their rules. They would have a terrific matchup, and of course it ties back into this year's Raw Rumble. You can tell an amazing story. But yeah, I like Mustafa Ali. And when he wins matches, I do the dance of joy. He ain't winning the Intercontinental title. Gunther's going to hold that thing for a long old while, and he probably should. That's a big old truck. Ridiculously big. Wouldn't fit on a British road. Carrying on as well, we got Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, as we're recording this, SmackDown hasn't happened yet, so I need to see what they're going to do on that. My thing with this one is, it's like the Shinsuke Nakamura-AJ Styles feud from a few years ago. If Asuka's not winning, why did we turn her heel? Why are we doing this match again? We probably should have done this prior to WrestleMania. So what I'm hoping is going down now is that WWE has realized, we need to do a make good here. I love Bianca Belair. I think she's a wonderful champion, but she has not been put in good feuds, which is no fault of her own. So I think now making her the chasing babyface actually could light her up again. Again, just do what we talked about. Go into SummerSlam, do a round 3. Bianca Belair can win the belt back, and then make sure we've got plans for her after the fact. Again, she's like Rhea Ripley. You want to be building to Rhea versus Bianca at WrestleMania 40, and we should be doing all we can in order to make them superstars. So I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say that Asuka is going to win. And I think you do want to do one championship change on this show, so that when we do the other shows, you can believe, maybe it is going to happen, and you don't kind of fall into a little bit of a pattern, which sometimes does happen. We also have the big old tag team match, which is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, with Paul Heyman for the tag team titles. I think this storyline has been wonderful. I think all the little nuances we've been doing and the layering like an onion has been tremendous. And the fact that we have carried this on after WrestleMania is sublime. If you want to get into debate where you could go, wait a minute, if Roman Reigns had lost that world championship, both the Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar feud and this feud would be better, you'd be absolutely right. Because you could then start teasing that Roman was going to win the championship. However, this has to be, the idea of this match, I mean, it has to draw a line under the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn stuff with all these guys, but also it has to draw a line or continue pushing forward that the Bloodline is crumbling. So what we have to do here is, Paul Heyman said on Raw that the Usos are not going to be there. I don't think that's true. I think the Usos will be there. I think they'll try and interfere. They'll screw up. In a dream world, Roman Reigns will get pinned by Sami Zayn. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think they'll probably pin Solo Sikoa instead, but that will still tie in. Because again, the long game is SummerSlam. Should be Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa taking on the Usos, which will be a massive deal. Then we should do the singles matches as well. Jimmy versus Roman, Jay versus Roman. And then ultimately, as we teased on Raw, whenever it was, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa fall out. And maybe even at WrestleMania 40, you do Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, and we turn Solo Sikoa into a megastar. So I'm very, very excited about this match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win, although again, no one's around. On the down low, I would like Roman to win. I like chaos. I like carnage. That's all I want in my life, to be completely honest. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the brand new, but also going to tie into the old lineage, World Heavyweight Championship. There was a rumor going around that said, because Seth is filming all this content for Captain America, fair play to that guy, that's absolutely incredible, in Marvel movies, WWE is hesitant to make him the champion. Are you kidding me? They wouldn't be hesitant. They would do backflips. You don't want your World Heavyweight Champion also to be a movie star? Look at The Rock, look at Roman Reigns, look at John Cena. They would absolutely love that. Seth Rollins has to win this match. Now, I love AJ Styles. He's one of the best wrestlers ever. And if he did get the victory, I wouldn't mind at all, because he's earned it, he deserves it, he should get his due. But Seth Rollins has been operating on a main event level for so long, rarely drops the ball, has had great matches with everybody, to the point, as cheesy and as stupid as it sounds, he just deserves it. It's just his time. Make him the world champion. Make him the guy that allows us to care about this title, and we stop seeing it as a secondary prize, and I totally understand that. And let's make something of it. I don't know what his first feud would be, because it feels like Cody Rhodes is going to be preoccupied with something else. But Seth Rollins is just the right choice for me. Also, I don't think you need to bring AJ Styles back onto Raw, so we don't need to worry about that. So I'm putting all my weight behind Seth Rollins, but on paper, this match should be absolutely phenomenal. And yes, that was a pun. You're allowed to hate me. Which means we end with Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I'm very, very excited about this. Again, if Cody Rhodes was the world champion right now, it would be twice as good, because you'd really have that idea, oh my gosh, is Brock Lesnar going to win? And he may be able to win. Because don't forget, this kind of ties into the story that we did back with, was it Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, I think? I think it was Harley Race, when Dusty Rhodes had his arm broken after winning the World Championship, and he lost it a week later. But we're not doing that, so let's not worry about it. I don't know what we do here, but I love the story. Cody Rhodes going into his second match where, you know, he shouldn't be allowed to really, but he will, because it's wrestling, and we create the rules. We also have the tease of Triple H. I think Brock Lesnar will win. Before we get into the shenanigans, I think Brock Lesnar will win. Again, we could do the third match at SummerSlam. Cody wins that, then probably feuds with Seth Rollins over the Raw World Heavyweight Championship. That would be my guess. I'd like to do something nuts with Triple H. Again, we're going into fantasy booking line of the world now. Reddit, Squared Circle, Twitter, that's what we're doing. That's the whole point of being a wrestling fan, having fun. If there is any kind of idea down on a piece of paper where Triple H screws over Cody Rhodes and we do a mini Triple H, do a mini like Steve Austin, Vince McMahon thing with those two, and Triple H talks about Cody Rhodes starting AEW and being a traitor and all of this, I'll lose my shit, man. I think that would be wonderful. Then Brock can go away for a while before he comes back. Triple H can then step into that role. It would also explain why Triple H shook Roman Reigns' Paul Heyman's hand after WrestleMania. There's so many little bits here. And also, why would Triple H just turn up for no reason? We don't need to do that. So I'm going Brock Lesnar will definitely win. We'll use the broken arm as a get out for Cody, which I think is smart, good booking. So thumbs up for that one. But let's do something with Triple H as well. I'm happy to see Triple H back on my TV. Him as a bad guy is kind of wishy-washy. But look, there's so much wrestling on TV. I think we should just have fun with it. So there you go. There are my predictions. They'll all be wrong because they always are. More importantly, make sure you let me know your predictions. Make them crazy too. Don't be boring. Oh, I think, no. Come up with crazy stuff. That's the best part of being a wrestling fan. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. There'll be some other videos on the screen. Make sure you click them too. If you're going to Dynamite and Rampage and Double or Nothing, enjoy that. If you're in Saudi Arabia watching this, make sure you enjoy Night of Champions. There's an NXT show. There's a bunch of wrestling. Make sure you enjoy all of them. Also, Statue of Liberty watching over us, reminding us about statues and liberty. I already know what it stands for. See ya.